Hey guys, welcome to Pet Rambles. I'm Pet. Today I'm going to ramble about Terry Pratchett book covers. I've been struggling with Terry Pratchett and the Discworld series for some time now. My initial plan was to make a video at the beginning of this year called I Feel Like a Hack or something like that, because for years, at least 15 years, I've been recommending people to read Discworld, yet I've only read like 4 books. That was like at the beginning of the year. This year I've read about 5 more, and I want to make a video about them, but somehow I struggle a lot, and I'm not sure why. So I thought that I'm going to ease myself in, and I'm going to talk a bit about collecting. This is part of the series where I'm collecting stuff, and my aim is to have all the Discworld series, and my plan was to just get those editions. But then I noticed that those editions are hardcover and the book covers are kind of interesting, and now I have to have those covers also. So basically I've started collecting both series. And the downside is that Discworld has about 41 or 42 books in the series. So it is going to be a struggle. But what is Discworld? Well, it's a world. It's a flat world that sits on top of 4 elephants, which sits on top of a giant turtle. It's kind of like a mixture of fantasy, but in kind of like, let's say, late 19th century, early 19th century, so something like that, London kind of vibes, but it's fantasy. It's a weird world made by Terry Pratchett, and there are a lot of things there. This is probably the reason why I'm struggling, because how am I going to tell people why this series is cool? Because it is cool, and I have struggling to give those definitions or like whatever. It is a very funny series, a bit hard to read if you are not a native English speaking person, which is why I struggled with it for years. But ever since I bought this new, I've started to read it on Kindle, but ever since I bought this Kobo, I will make a video about this soon, I started to read even more, this year, basically, and then I'm also listening to the audiobook, which is done fabulously. I enjoy the new audiobooks a lot, so I'm listening and reading at the same time, which is what allowed me to get more immersed into the world. And Terry Pratchett uses a lot of, he's a proper British man, right, English person, and he's using those British words that sometimes I don't know because of my vocabulary is limited. But he's also combining English words, and sometimes it was harder to pick up on things when I was younger. It's easier now. But yeah, as I've said, I do want to show you those book covers, and then maybe we can decide together, which one do you like the most? Which one should I focus on? And I will tell you in a second. So I will start with those 2 books, which are not actually the first. I do have this in Romanian, which I made the mistake to buy the Romanian version like 20 years ago, and it's very badly translated. It's hard to translate the nuances of Terry Pratchett jokes, which is why you should read them in English, which is one of the things that. But anyway, I read this. I like to sign all my books, and I have this in my collection since June 2013, and then I bought Guards, and 5th March 2013, and I've read Guards like in 2013, and I had to reread them again. But yeah, anyway, those are the covers made by Josh Kirby, the original author of the covers, and I do like his styles, and this is the reason why I wanted to start having those editions, because I like how the covers are looking. And Terry Pratchett has a lot of the Discworld books got a lot of releases, and some of them have like an incredibly ugly covers. But yeah, those are the ones that I liked. I was like, okay, those are the ones that I'm going to collect. And this year I decided to, hey, let's continue with my main aim was to read Guards and read all the series from the Guards series, and that was my aim. So I bought Men at Arms, which is the 2nd book from the Guards series, and as you can see, they have different sizes. And I will also have to buy the first two at some point, in theory. But yeah, so Color of Magic is the first book of the series. It's so-so. Guards is entry point where people would suggest for you to start, and because I've reread Guards this year, I decided to buy the cover for the hardcover of this new edition, which I kind of enjoy. Look how beautiful they are. Look how beautiful they look. They even, some of them even have those type to read them, bookmark. So yeah, so Guards, Men at Arms, The Fifth Elephant, Jingo, and then actually yeah, Feet of Clay, I believe is the third one, and then the legendary Night Watch. And this is how I know that I've done a mistake, because I googled best Terry Pratchett works, because from all those series in the Discworld books, not all of them are super good. Some of them are just decent, let's put it like that. But Night Watch is, some people consider it like it's his best work, and it's not the last series, but it's like the 6th or the 7th book in the Guards City Watch series. And I decided to read it, and I've read it, and I can see why people enjoy it. But at the same time, I realized my mistake, because this is a book that involves traveling back in time to meet the characters before they get known. And I'm like, I kind of don't know some of the characters because I haven't read some of those other books. And the thing with Terry Pratchett books is that they can generally be read independent of each other, but it's good to have some kind of flow. And I was like, okay, let's start from scratch. And this is how I've decided to reread Guards, and I don't reread books, but I decided to reread it. I enjoyed it a lot. It was very fun. And then I read Men at Arms. Didn't enjoy this that much, and I do have to make videos about them. But yeah, those are the covers for the. They are not all of them here. I don't have all the books yet, but yeah, just to have an idea, those are. And this is the book made by Paul Kirby. I kind of mix the artist names. I will put it on the screen. Then, Small Gods. This is the latest book that I've read by Terry Pratchett, and I even got the graphic novel of the adaptation. And I love this cover, and because I also loved the book and I love the cover, I've also decided to buy the hardcover. And I kind of like what they've done. I love green. Green is my favorite color, and I like what. Again, I've been struggling to make a video about this because it's a book it was enjoyable and funny to read, but at the same time it tackles religion and it tackles faith in a nice way. Yeah, not going to speak about it for now, but yeah, look, those are how the covers are looking. Absolutely adorable. The great god Om. My second maybe recommendation, if you want to start reading Terry Pratchett, is Mort. First being Guards, maybe second Mort. Mort is part of the Death series, and if I'm to look at the quality of this cover seems to be very low quality print. Like you can see the blurring. Not totally happy with it, but it's fine. Mort has been very funny. It's part of the Death series. That is a character that's in almost all the books, and generally I've only read Mort. I do have the others, but I only read Mort for now. Death always has those problems with he wants to be a bit human, kind of, or be more like, and he has crisis, kind of. And in this book he gets an apprentice, and he lets the apprentice do some things, and of course he does some young things, and then the world is kind of ending because death needs to take the life. It's kind of like that. And I also got the hardcover. Again, I'm kind of like happy what they've done with this cover. The back maybe of the covers, it's a bit boring because it's kind of like the front cover. I would have liked something else, but I like that they don't have those things like reviews, whatever. I don't like when books have that, but at least the covers are clean. They don't put, hey, New York Times bestseller, kind of. This is what I like about some books. Then I also got Weird Sisters. And Equal Rights, yeah. So I've read Equal Rights some time ago. It was okay. I've been told that it's getting better from Weird Sisters, which is the second book of the Witches series. But yeah, I will read those later. Then the other two books from the Death series are Reaper Man and Soul Music. Again, I absolutely love this cover. I even found a high quality version of the illustration and I set it up as a wallpaper. Haven't read those yet. Then what else should I show you? We're kind of like almost at the end, but yeah, Nightwatch. I decided to buy the hardcovers of the books that I liked from at least at the beginning, and I didn't enjoy Nightwatch, so I decided to get it. There is a difference between this is Double Day, this is something else. Those have the ones from with those logo, they have the bookmark. Those don't have the bookmark, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And then I also want to show you The Truth, which I haven't read yet again. It's kind of about newspapers and stuff. But I simply love the cover. I love the purplish, pinkish. Look how interesting the cover is. This is why I kind of decided to also get this one. My next hardcover might actually be Going Postal, which I've read years ago and I enjoyed a lot, and maybe even the edition of, this edition. But yeah, so tell me, I mean, this is the purpose of this video, to kind of show you the covers, and which one do you like the most and why? I do think that they're like special things. They feel like candy. Doesn't it feel like candy when you see a lot of Terry Pratchett's together? It's like you want to eat them all, you want to read them all, you want to enjoy them all. I do want to start a new Terry Pratchett book, but I do feel that I need to make, so I do have to make a video about, I will reread Mort at some point, and that's when I'm going to make a video. But I wrote the script for Guards. I do want to share my opinions about Men at Arms, not that deep depth, but Guards it's important because I want this video to be the starting point of where I'm telling you more about Discworld and why you should read it, and then I'm going to go into details about Guards, and so on. But then I've also read Nightwatch, but I will reread that at some point. And of course, right now I'm struggling with Small Gods because Small Gods, I think with Terry Pratchett in general, he's handling social and political, he's doing a bit of social and political commentaries there, but it's not in your face. Or maybe it can be in your face. It can be like, okay, it's obvious that he's talking about that thing, but it doesn't feel like it's the author's agenda. He's doing it in an enjoyable way, in an entertainment way. You can just read it and you can have fun with it without having you to think about stuff if you don't want to think about stuff. But at the same time, with Small Gods especially, I do have a feeling that if I'm going to reread this book in 5 years, I'm going to find other stuff that I haven't found at my first read. It's that deep. Maybe it sounds a bit clingy if I'm saying that it's deep, but there is something there. And I did got a couple. I think when I'm also going to make videos, this is the reason why I want to reread them, is that I want to take annotations. I'm taking annotation because there are a lot of really funny things. There is one in Men at Arms, I think it's speaking about someone, and it's like he's thinking in italics, and the font italics, it's in italics. Like it's not, it's like that. And that was like a lot of funny things like that. And especially Guards is like a really good one about how people they are very good at protesting and rebelling, and they get down the tyrants, but then that's it. The thing is that people who are bad or evil or tyrants, they have a plan because they want that's how they are, right? And then people get down the tyrant, but then don't know what to do. They get bored because anyway, it is something like a point there. But yeah, anyway, this is how the books are looking when you hold them side by side. Again, as I've said, it's like candy. And those are the books side by side like this. They look very nice in the shelves, but yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling a lot about Terry Pratchett book covers. Those are the ones that I'm collecting. Which are the book covers that you enjoy the most? What is my next Terry Pratchett book that I should read? I was thinking on doing Feet of Clay, so I can continue with the City Watch series. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this. See you soon. Goodbye.